A very good afternoon and thank you for joining us on Beetv News Update at 3. I am Ruth Ogbodu and now the news in detail. Ekiti State Government has reaffirmed its commitment to the development of the agricultural sector as part of efforts to boost food security and drive economic growth. The report.
The Director General of the Office of Transformation and Service Delivery, Dr. John Moyo Ekundayo, made this known while leading members of the Agricultural Monitoring, Evaluation, Accountability and Learning Committee on a tour of agricultural facilities across the state. He said the initiative underscores the government's resolution to strengthen transparency, improve productivity, and ensure effective implementation of agricultural programs. The committee set up by Governor Biodu Abayomi Oyebanji is saddled with the responsibility of tracking, auditing, and improving agricultural programs across the state with a clear focus on boosting productivity and guaranteeing value for money. At the 200-hectare oil palm plantation in Itakpaji, the team reaffirmed the Oyebanji administration's commitment to supporting farmers and expanding large-scale agricultural investments in the state.
The palm processing plant in this place, producing liters, hundreds of liters of palm oil almost on a daily basis. And also, looking at the road here, the road is not really very good. And there are a lot of farmers along this route that we believe RAM in Ekiti State will assist so that they can bring their produce to the market.
So government should show more interest, especially in those who take interest like this, providing infrastructure to support them, then assisting them in terms of sale of finished products, and also assisting in cost of inputs.
The committee also inspected the ongoing construction of a modern abattoir and a veterinary clinic in Ado-Ekiti.
When that abattoir is completed, it will serve the people in Ado-Ekiti and environs. And then not only that, we are going to have fertilizer from there. So for farmers, we may not need to wait for fertilizer from the north. And for this hospital here, we personnel here, big doctors here, taking care of animals. So we have mortality rate of animals reducing Ekiti.
Expectations are high that the findings will further shape policies aimed at achieving improved and sustainable food production across the state. Naomi Ewere reporting from Beetv News.
Civil society groups have raised concerns over a recent amendment to the Electoral Act, particularly regarding how results are transmitted from polling units. Action Aid Nigeria, alongside Yaga Africa and the Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room, convened experts and citizens in Abuja to discuss the potential impacts of these changes on transparency and voter confidence. The report.
For millions of Nigerians, elections are about more than politics. They are about trust that votes will count, that announced results reflect what happened at polling units, and that democracy is working. However, the recent amendment to Clause 60, Subsection 3 of the Electoral Act has sparked controversy. The provision allows presiding officers to transmit results electronically only after Form EC8A has been signed, and if electronic transmission fails, the signed forms become the official source of results. Civil society groups warn that while the change may address technical realities, it could also raise concerns about transparency and accountability in the electoral process.
So for us as citizens, we are saying that, which I agree with you, we need to engage. Our engagement is, we are calling Nigerians, all Nigerians, to be involved in this process. This is not a time to sit back and wait and think that, civil society will do it. Who is civil society? All of us.
Organizers say the electoral reforms should not remain technical discussions behind closed doors, but must be clearly understood by voters whose confidence is essential for peaceful elections. They also emphasize that results transmission remains one of the most sensitive stages of the electoral process.
Let us unite for this human action, demand accountability, for this is our life, and we must unite with all our strength. as the senior co-director outlined some activities for this weekend. We are out again on the streets to demand our business from national, the states, the local level, and the communities.
With memories of past election controversies still fresh, many citizens say the priority is clear: polling unit results must match the final declarations. The town hall is expected to produce recommendations aimed at improving transparency, strengthening accountability, and ensuring that electoral reforms serves the interests of Nigerians first. Naomi Ewere reporting from BTV News.
Retired Air Marshal Ansa Bala Abubakar has formally retired from the Nigeria Air Force, emphasizing that institutional continuity and operational resilience must remain guiding principles for the service. He made the declaration during his fly-out parade in Abuja, describing the ceremony as one of the highest honors of his career. Abubakar expressed gratitude to officers, airmen and airwomen for their dedication to national security. Reflecting on his nearly 2.5-year tenure, he highlighted key achievements including the induction of 15 new aircraft, reactivation of older platforms, and the completion of more than 580 infrastructure projects across the service.
Sacrifice in service to our country. Next to them can never be repeated. Our thoughts and prayers remain with the families they left behind. In their memory, I want all personnel to recommit the core values they upheld: journalism.
The Lagos State Traffic Management Authority has condemned a violent attack on one of its officers at the Ojota interchange over the weekend. The incident occurred when a commercial bus was intercepted along the Ojota-Ketu corridor for reckless driving, allegedly leaving its passengers' door wide open while fully loaded with commuters. When officers attempted to enforce the law, the driver resisted arrest and tried to escape by mounting the media, but his vehicle became immobilized. During the confrontation, the driver attacked the officers with a broken bottle, stabbing one officer in the hand. The victim sustained severe fractures requiring emergency surgery and reconstruction of 2 fingers. Last-man General Manager Olalekan Bakare expressed outrage over the attack, confirming that police investigations and prosecution are ongoing. He warned commercial drivers that violence against enforcement personnel will not be tolerated and reaffirmed last-man commitment to traffic discipline, public safety and order across Lagos State. The All Progressive Congress is consolidating its structures in Kaduna State amid a surge in youth defections reshaping the state's political landscape. At a gathering in Rafin Guza ward of Kaduna North local government area, hundreds of new members were formally received into the party, pledging loyalty and reaffirming confidence in the leadership of Governor Uba Sani and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Many of the youth, drawn largely from opposition parties, said their decision was influenced by what they described as visible progress in infrastructure, social welfare, and governance reforms at both the state and federal levels. Leading the grassroots mobilization is Abdulaziz Abubakar Kaka, special advisor to President Tinubu on political matters, who has intensified community-level engagement to deepen youth participation and strengthen party structures across the states.
Sani do good for us. We are seeing some land, some road, hospital, and others.
Contribute so far for us through our hospital, our roads, and our schools.
That I've seen what His Excellency Governor Obasani is doing through with His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So we are here in Rafunguza ward, in the Ondakao ward, to come and receive them to join the APC officially, which we are going to go and hand over to His Excellency the Governor and the party chairman, inshallah.
Traders in Kano State are counting their losses after a fire outbreak destroyed several shops in the popular Gindan glass sector of the Singa market. Just days before the commencement of Ramadan, the fire, which started on Saturday evening, reportedly destroyed goods and property worth billions of naira. Firefighters, supported by other security agencies, battled the remaining flames and worked to prevent further spread. Traders were seen salvaging what was left of their merchandise, while bystanders sifted through the debris. Officials of the Singa Market Development Association said no fewer than 1,000 shops were affected. Some traders sustained injuries and other 7 persons are still unaccounted for. And now to business news. Umo Eno has reassured residents that no amount of propaganda or sentiment can overturn Akwa Ibom State's rights to 76 disputed oil wells, as affirmed by 2 Supreme Court judgments. He maintained that the rulings clearly establish the state's ownership and stressed that the matter is based on law and established facts, not emotion. Favor Kolawole has more.
The dispute with Cross River State stems from a long-running revenue disagreement following the 2008 loss of Bakassi Peninsula to Cameroon, which left Cross River without a coastline. Although a 2012 Supreme Court ruling awarded the oil wells to Akwa Ibom, Cross River argues that new mapping and geological data placed 67 of the well within its territory. Speaking at Victor Acta International Airport, Eno expressed confidence in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's commitment to the rule of law, insisting that Supreme Court decisions cannot be disregarded. He urged citizens to remain calm with the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission also dismissed reports that the oil wells had been ceded to Cross River, describing such claim as false and misleading. The Nigerian Customs Service has announced plans to reduce cargo clearance time to 48 hours and also eliminate redundant checks, expedite disputes resolution within the nation's seaport and land borders, with unveiling of one-stop shop initiative. Controller General of Customs Adewale Adeniyi announced this in Lagos at the official launch of the OSS on Saturday. Speaking during the event, Adeniyi, who was represented at the event by the Deputy Controller of Customs in charge of enforcement, Timi Bomodi, explained that the One-Stop Shop initiative is firmly anchored in Nigeria's broader business environment, reforms under Executive Order 001 and the Business Facilitation Act, which emphasize transparency, service timelines, digitization, and interagency coordination. The one-stop shop is designed as a unified operational framework that centralizes all risk interventions within a coordinated digital and physical environment, replacing fragmented processes with an integrated clearance system. Nigeria Depot Insurance Corporation has announced plans to expand grassroots stakeholder engagement to strengthen trust in Nigeria's banking system and boost depositor confidence. The move was highlighted at a stakeholders town hall meeting in Lagos attended by representatives of the Central Bank of Nigeria, financial institutions, civil society groups and academia and the media. The NDIC Managing Director and Chief Executive Sunday Thompson, represented by Adeyinka Olukoya, said the initiative aims to address misconception about the deposit insurance system. He noted that many Nigerians are unclear about what it covered, what happens when a bank's license is revoked, and how depositors are reimbursed. The forum, he said, provides an opportunity to clarify these issues and educate the public on how their funds are protected.
The corporation also reaffirmed its enhanced insurance coverage. Depositors in deposit money banks, mobile money operators, and non-interest banks are insured up to 5 million naira, while those in microfinance banks, primary mortgage institutions, and payment service banks are covered up to 2 million naira. Insured amounts are paid promptly in the event of bank failure, with any excess balances settled through liquidation dividends, a framework that protects about 99% of depositors in Nigeria. That is all from the business world. Favor Kolawole, reporting for BTV News.
Ukrainian anti-corruption detectives have detained a former energy minister as part of an expanding investigation into high-level corruption that previously triggered a political crisis late last November, officials said. The report.
The arrest was carried out by investigators from the National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine together with prosecutors from the Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office. Authorities allege the former minister is linked to a large-scale scheme involving abuse of office, unlawful enrichment, and suspected manipulation of energy sector contracts. According to investigators, the probe focuses on decisions made while the suspect held a senior government portfolio overseeing energy policy. Detectives believe the alleged activities may have caused substantial financial losses to the state through inflated procurement arrangements and preferential treatment granted to selected companies. Officials said the case formed part of a broader anti-grant campaign launched under President Volodymyr Zelensky aimed at strengthening transparency and reassuring international partners that Ukraine is tackling corruption at the highest level of government. The campaign intensified after last year's political tension when several senior officials were investigated or dismissed amid public pressure for accountability. Law enforcement authorities confirmed that searches were conducted at multiple locations and that financial documents, electronic devices, and contract record were seized for forensic examination. The detained former minister is expected to appear before a court where prosecutors will request pre-trial restrictions while the investigations continue. Anti-corruption officials emphasized that the inquiry remains ongoing and warned that additional suspects, including former minister staff and business executives, could face questioning on detention as evidence is reviewed. The latest move underscores Kyiv's effort to demonstrate zero tolerance for grants in the strategic energy sector, which had long been viewed as particularly vulnerable to corruption risk. Further official statements are expected once the court determines the suspect legal status and sets the next procedural steps. Evelyn Isabel reporting for BTV.
And now to the entertainment news. Congratulatory messages have continued to pour in for Nollywood actress Tonto Dike following her graduation from a discipleship class at Streams of Joy International led by Jerry Eze. Evelyn Isibili has more.
Sharing a video of herself holding her certificate, the actress expressed gratitude for her spiritual growth, noting that she is no longer the same person who began the journey. She described her work with God as healing, stretching, overwhelming, and beautiful. Dike also revealed that she has officially joined the Church Temple Keepers Department full-time, marking a new chapter in her faith journey. Fans and colleagues have since celebrated her milestone, applauding her commitment and transformation. In another development, Nigerian skit maker and singer Kataife opens up about his distrust of some pastors as he explains why he stopped going to church. In a viral clip, the entertainer suggested that certain religious leaders may build close relationships with members only to later request financial assistance for personal needs. He stated that such concerns are part of why he avoids attending church. His comments have generated mixed reactions on social media, with some users agreeing with his perspective while others criticize the generalization of religious leaders. Taylor Swift has successfully challenged a trademark application for the brand Swift Home filed by home goods company Cathy Home. The company withdrew its bid over the weekend after Swift's team appealed to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, arguing that the branding could confuse consumers into believing the singer has endorsed the bedding products. Swift legal team filed a notice on 11 February requesting that the application be blocked. They contended that Cathy Home's stylized use of the word Swift closely resembled the single's trademarked cursive logo and could mislead the public. A spokesperson for Cathay Home said the company decided to withdraw the application because the mark was not essential to its business. The firm's lawyer Ting Geng of Geng and Associates described the move as a practical and commercially sensible decision. She also noted that the company had previously reached a consent to coexist agreement with 6Pm over another 6 Home trademark. Evelyn Izibili reporting for Beetv News.
And now to sports. League leaders Ikorodu City secured a crucial away win against Enyimba in Aba to maintain their lead in the Nigeria Premier Football League, while Shooting Stars strengthened their push for a continental place with a commanding 4-2 victory over Warri Wolves. At the Enyimba International Stadium, Ikorodu City demonstrated the resilience that has defined their season. Joseph Arumala's 29th minute strike proved decisive as the visitors absorbed pressure to secure all 3 points. The victory moves Ikorodu City to 44 points from 26 matches, keeping them at the summit and widening the gap up to Rivers United, who dropped to 3rd after being overtaken by Enugu Rangers. Rangers 2-0 win over Wiki Tourist, courtesy of first half goals from Wisdom Ebirim and Godwin Obaje, lifted them to 43 points and intensified the pressure at the top. Rivers, on 41 points, still hold 5 games in hand following the conclusion of their disappointing CFA Champions League campaign and not adding much pressure to their title ambition. In Abeokuta, Shooting Stars recovered swiftly from an early setback to produce one of their most complete attacking displays of the season. Wolves struck first through Peter Ita inside 7 minutes, but the response was immediate as Sodi Ibrahim equalized 4 minutes later to settle any nerves. And that's the end of our news updates. Thank you for joining me and stay tuned at 6 for our major news. I am Ruth Obodu. Bye for now.